sorry about that. I was trying to request Tina into the live, but all right. I think I got it right. I think I joined. Okay, cool, cool, cool. There we go. There we go.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hey. All right. All right. So far, what do you think? I think I'm doing a pretty good job at
I
this.
think you're doing a great job. This is your first podcast.
Still there, Tina? Oh man. Oosh. I think I it froze, and I think I lost Tina. There we go. There we go. There we go. What's up, Pura Cultura Podcast? What's going down?
Yeah.
Hey, sorry about that. Okay, yeah.
Hi, Smiley.
I'm my mom, but Minnie boy.
Yeah, that's Manny.
I'm
That's my
mom,
youngest
but
Manny.
Minnie and a boy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So as for so can you do a little quick intro into who you are and what you do?
Sure.
Hey, mommy getting.
Oh, thanks, Manny. I'm a stay-at-home parent, 38 years old, living in Rockville, Maryland, Montgomery County, Maryland, about 20 to North DC. I've always loved reading, writing, or anything. And
Writing too.
I'm involved in that. Um, I all right, thank you. I thought, and then we'll. What should I took a couple English in college. I took. Okay, thank you. He can be my hype man. Well, I took two English courses. But it was good experiences. They taught me more about writing for your audience. Whether you're writing, whether you different reasons to write, whether to be creative and expressing, tell a story, or professional writing, whether you're writing for what you business reasons, persuade someone, legal reasons, those things.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So what got you into writing though?
I think ever since middle school, when they had us writing just about everything. They had us writing haikus. They had us writing short stories, journaling, and things like that. And I just, I always loved reading. I think that is kind of how it started. So.
As someone that, how can you persuade someone that doesn't like reading or writing? Like, how can you persuade them to pick up that inspiring feeling to want to do it?
Okay, well that's simple enough. No, oh, thank you. All right, I'm sorry, I'm being a bit too strict with him. But insofar as reading, that's really easy. You got to find something that the person likes, because so many people are so stuck where you have to read a certain kind of. Untap. Oh yeah. Where you have to read a certain type of book. You've got to read a history book or whatever the hell it is. Author Stephen King, who wrote tons of horror, books that everyone's familiar with his movies and such. He said, get your kids reading. It doesn't matter if it's the back of a cereal. Well, I say it doesn't matter if it's the back of a cereal box. And his point of view was, even if they're reading comic books, it doesn't matter. There's also audiobooks. that I think are more interesting because usually they're told in the voice of a character, or maybe the author like voices the, you know, narrates the book. And so the author knows the voice of the characters too. And so you can kind of interpret it as well. That's a different way of, I guess, ingesting or taking in a book, you know?
It's nice.
Yeah. So, and when you try to, like me, for example, when I have something in my mind, it comes out totally different when when it's finally time to put words into paper. How do you deal with that? Like, with not being able to express the right words to to match what you're thinking about, like your visual idea.
I think that it's hard. You have to find that connection, and it takes time developing your mind and translating it to paper or to computer. And so I think that there's been a lack of people writing on paper. I think I spoke, I'm not sure if it was Papillon podcast or another writer that I spoke with, who's a writer essentially, talking about the importance of writing on paper, writing on notebook paper, having that the writing flow from your hand. It's almost like, you know how you're playing video games, you're in the zone and it's fun. And you can do it without even thinking about it because you have that hand-eye coordination. Well, the same, it can be something similar with writing. You know, when you put enough effort into writing in notepad or sheets of paper or scrap pieces of paper, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter where you write on a napkin for all it is, you know?
Because I mean, essentially, is it really is like a puzzle, right? I mean, how do you figure the whole process?
Well, I think you take it in pieces. You do what you can, and when you reach a certain point where you feel like you're your head against the wall, it's time to take a break. That's when you reach your writer's block. You've got to walk away from it. That way, you come back with a fresher mind, different perspective, or sleep. You know, and then you're gonna dream about it anyways. You know.
Now, when you write, do you have notes that you've taken before you actually sit down and write, or do you just sit down and just type away?
It depends on what I'm writing, so it can be both ways.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of times,
Like, for example, give us an example of what can take you having to put more thought into before sitting down and typing.
I wrote one essay that I published on elephantjournal.com. It's more like a mindful, like spiritual page where you can write about whatever it is, as long as it's I guess kind of just elevates things, just makes things better or whatnot for people, whether it's a negative, positive topic or whatever it may be, but just to keep it kind of somewhat uplifting and informative. But mine was a little different. I guess it took me months to write my essay because I kept on. Sweetheart, thank you. Please. Go ahead.
Mister, would you like a Cheez-It?
Okay, I'll take one.
Thank you.
I'll give
Thank
you
you.
There's Cheez-It.
Okay, sweetheart.
I mean, essay writing is a totally different monster, though. I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I did, I wrote what I learned. It wasn't. It was somewhat persuasive essay, somewhat informative, because I wrote about different artists and a writer that were in my life, essentially, if that makes sense. So it wasn't completely like I wrote about them. It wasn't just completely my own personal thoughts, because I wanted to, at first it just kind of felt like it was kind of like self-indulgent what I wrote when I shared it with people, and after I read it and thought about it, then I kept on working on it, and I forget who or how I found I think my friend Brian or whatnot. I found the confidence to kind of publish my work because I shared it with a few people. Sweethearts, I'm on live. Please go do something. So yeah, I share, you know, as a writer, I think, or as an artist with anything, whether it comes to clothing, whether it comes to art, writing, music, whatever it may be. There's a kind of putting yourself out there because you've put so much of yourself into whatever your work, your craft may be. And so,
Yeah.
you know, having that confidence to publish anything, you know, is still, you know, is still something I found. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. When it comes to publishing it though, like that must have been a hard process. How did you go about and do something like that?
I forget why I chose that particular platform. One moment, sir, I'll give you time. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't that hard because I have a private blog that I publish to that, you know, only a few people know of or whatnot. That's awesome, isn't it? Hi, welcome everyone. That's right. We got to engage with people who are.
Little boy.
Yes. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Hopefully it'll stop within a moment.
His name is Benny, you said? Your son?
I can still hear you though.
Oh, his name is Benny, you said? Your son?
Gosh. All right. Yeah.
I'm right here.
Yeah, my
Benny? Oh, that's my son's name too. Benny. Yeah, but we call him short for Benito though. I don't know if, yeah.
Manito or Benito?
Benito. So yeah, but we call him Benny though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, his name is Kenny.
Not me.
Okay.
Manny.
It's okay. You know, we're having.
I would like it to be Benny. That's a nice name.
Benny is a cool name.
Yeah, Benny's a cool name.
What is his name? I still haven't caught it right.
Oh, hold on.
Manny.
Oh, Manny. Okay, sorry. I didn't get to catch that. Oh, Manny. Okay, Manny. Now as for when you have you ever attended workshops? That's something that a lot of people don't attend workshops for some reason.
I have not. I don't recall personally attending a workshop.
Ooh, personally?
Okay.
You have?
Have you?
So add some comedy to it. He always does.
Now, what are some tools that you can recommend someone starting up actually take into consideration?
I guess figure out what your focal point is, you know, and that's something you develop as you go. That's something that you develop what you may, and it's just like life. You may think, okay, I'm going to write about this. This is going to be my focal point. But when the thoughts flow out and everything's said and done, and you put that puzzle together, it may be a different focus point. So I guess be open-minded, be open to the process. And so far, when you're starting writing, be patient with yourself. You know, be kind to yourself. Don't expect perfection with the first draft, or even the second or third. It may take 10 drafts. You never know. And definitely, if you know anyone who is a trusted person that you feel comfortable sharing your writing with, you know, share with someone that you know and trust to get their insight on that, because it's always good to do that when you're first starting out, and they can give you pointers or whatnot.
Yeah, no doubt. Having someone that you can talk about your ideas is really helpful, you know, to really see if maybe some thoughts are not clicking the right way, or not, some ideas are just like too far out or whatnot. But so besides essays, what else have you written?
Let's see. When I first started working at Blockbuster, I wrote an instruction manual as to how to process certain things, how to process delinquent accounts and other things like that.
Okay.
So that was a little bit more like technical writing, I guess you could say. Let me see. What else insofar as writing? I haven't written any books. I haven't sat down long enough to write a book like that. Journaling is another one. You know, that's
Journaling, that's really good, you know. I do try that sometimes.
What about you?
Yeah.
You've been asking me a lot of questions. Let's ask you a
Uh,
question. What
no,
makes
I
you
mean, like I said, like I'm here to learn as well. Like I want, you know, to, you know, network with people and just learn in the process. This is my little journey as well, you know. I'm trying to go into this as a student, not a teacher, you know.
Well, I think if we're all open, you know, we're all students in one way or another if we're open to learning. I think, I forget what teacher taught me that it's really great to be a lifetime learner. And if you're really
Hmm.
open to it, anyone can be your teacher. Because I mean, I
Yeah.
learn from my kids, I learn from having conversations with people. I mean, I haven't, yeah. um, you know, because it's just like I've just been in Maryland for quite some time. I mean, I've traveled some, but you know, with COVID and everything, I've
Hmm.
traveled virtually, you know, just
Hmm.
befriending people and all that. And everyone that I've befriended or had a conversation with, I've learned something from because I've been open to it, you know. And even
You're
the
using social media for the right reasons.
yeah,
A lot of people use social media for the dumbest reasons.
you know, well, I mean, it's based on where you are in your life, you know, because it's just like
Yeah.
buddy for just I mean I used to just mindlessly scroll through social media, but then I forget what inspired me, you know. In part it was, you know, events that have happened within the country, you know, just people being hurt and killed and such. And uh,
Mm.
so I you know, I'll keep it light or whatnot, but that kind of made me shift focus a bit because I feel I grew up, I went to private school. Um, I didn't really encounter racism per se growing up. I encountered classism, you know, per se, you know, for people who are wealthier than I was going to private school, but that's you find everywhere. I
Mm.
think I was lucky to not encounter racism, and I guess going to private school, I didn't encounter um, what other people experience when you speak a different way. And I don't judge anybody because I've had quite a colorful past per se. Um, but yeah, you learn, you know, school of hard knocks. Why not? But
Yeah.
gosh, there was a point to that because you were asking, your teachers and such. So yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, even exes, you know, I've learned from, you know, I've shifted my perspective in how I view things because instead of saying, oh, that was such a huge mistake in my life, I regret that, you know, I've developed a different mindset where everyone is either a blessing, a lesson, or both. You know what I mean? It just
Mm.
depends on how you how you view it, how you know, write that narrative. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
I did a years ago. I attended a motivational event with Tony Robbins. He was there
Oh,
virtual.
really?
He wasn't there himself, you know, but he was there by
Oh,
a
okay.
screen. But but I learned, you know, some things essentially from there. But then sometimes, you know, you hear things and it doesn't really settle. It doesn't resonate. You don't quite understand uh, until later on down the road. You know, like in high school,
Mm.
I took, you know, some math courses that I didn't understand until I was in college. You know what I mean? And I don't
Uh,
have a college degree. I only have 12 credits um, in, in a local community college or whatnot. So, um, you know, I learned as I went. You know what I mean? Just learning from different
yeah.
bosses, learning from coworkers, picking up things here and there from reading and reading self-help books and all that jazz. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
That's right. I think I was mentioning to you too when I started reading, like really reading,
Mhm.
when I was younger, I got into self-help books and psychological, you know, psychology type books that can
Mhm.
help you on how to, you know, do certain things with kind of like what do they call those life hacks? life hacks, something like that. So those really helped out. Just to be able to go through life and pick out certain people in your life, and be able to tell on people who really is who. I was really able, just through reading and just through observation. I've always been really good with picking out the right people, or being able to tell certain characteristics with people just on first the first time that we meet or whatnot. I'm able to pick up on certain things. So like those things really helped out, and I think all that, I think it comes back to my passion, which is to showcase that in a form of writing, in a form of story. And I think all those things help. You know what I really been taking notes on and watching? Have you heard of the master class?
Is that with different
Online.
experts on different
Yeah.
subjects?
I've been really
I've heard of it.
yeah, I've been watching the R.L. Stein, the author R.L. Stein.
Nice.
I've been watching
Goosebumps and all that.
his master class. He's a really great teacher. Like,
Yeah.
I never, how he speaks pretty like kind of like that one actor from what's that one movie with that misbehaved child, problem child. Remember that one the principal, what's his name?
John Ritter.
Yeah. he yeah, so it's kind of like he has that kind of quiet, type of way. And I wasn't really thinking that he was going to be a great.
And then when he's like, like he's just a totally different person. He's just a character, somewhat larger.
He is, yeah. And he really goes through. So even like that's kind of considered more of a workshop too. Going through classes like that and really taking notes. But I think all those things just really you have to really take notes though. I believe, because just watching it, I mean, you could take some stuff out of it, but actually put it into practice, you have to have some reference into what you, because from one day to another, you're going to be like, what did I watch yesterday? I forgot what he was talking about.
Oh,
so it's like,
yeah. You do have to, I do things a little differently. Like I have an app where I just kind of write down the key points of the day or whatever I'm grateful for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's like journaling then, huh?
Yeah.
That's like the journaling part, yeah.
It's called Daylio, Daylio. And so you can, journal that.
Huh.
Are we
it's like an app?
Analismo is asking, are we doing this live every Thursday? This would be good so people, can read their writing. So you know what? That would be
great. Oh, yeah.
Great.
That's a good idea. Thank you, Marco. Yeah, that would be good. See, I have for next Thursday, I have this I have an author from Chicago. His name is Ricardo Garcia. He wrote a few books already. He self-published a few books. I want to get him on next Thursday. So I'm excited for that. So it's yeah, that would be a great thing to get, to get a few passages of their, works or whatnot. Would you be willing to do something like that, Tina? To share some passages of what you've written?
Sure.
Yay, Victor and Tina.
Okay. The video is still, I can't hear you now. I wonder if I have to leave.
Oh, really?
Oh, now I can hear you. I guess there's
okay.
a slight delay, perhaps.
Oh, was there? Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, you don't have to apologize. Just, it's always better to say thank you. You know what I mean? It's just part of my training that I got as a receptionist. Like people, people are. It's about treating people with kindness, and people treating everyone like a guest. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, doesn't it sound so much better when you say thank you to someone? Like, thanks for waiting. Thanks for rolling with these technical difficulties. Thanks for making the time to have me on your live and all those other good stuff.
And thanks
you know what I mean?
for having me.
Yeah.
Giving me more time.
I gave him a little bit of extra screen time.
Yeah, it's kind of like coming up from a Latino background. It's if you really stop to think, the wording and traditional ways of doing things, you really start to like wonder, where did that come from? Like I don't know if you're familiar with the term what is it called, mande, when some you're trying to have someone repeat something, it's like mande, so it's like what, command me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, but it's not, because it's just like certain things are not supposed to be literally translated. You've got to take clues into the context of the words or whatnot. So
yeah.
so yeah, that's basically part of, you know what, I was even having a philosophical conversation with someone as to how certain religious books were interpreted or whatnot, and how their translations were wrong, essentially, because they didn't take all the context into account when translating. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, when it comes to religious manuscripts and stuff, yeah, there's a lot of because there's different languages and stuff that you're dealing with. Yeah. But would you be willing to share some a passage from something that you've written from an essay or something?
I would. I don't have anything ready right now.
Okay.
Robert, Bobby, do you have anything that you want to share or that you're available to share? Because it's just like, it's okay if it's kind of deep. It's a writer's. I defer to Victor. It's his podcast, but I would think it's okay if it's deep.
Oh, I mean, if anyone, yeah, let me throw that out there. If anyone wants to go live right now and just share something, let me know.
Oh, I did. I did write something that I can kind of remember offhand without verbalizing, without mentioning names or whatnot. Like I wrote something in regards to into the first podcast I followed or whatnot, and so that I seriously followed, because I don't know, I just never really got into the whole podcast scene until I'm not sure if it was May or June. I'm gonna have to go back to my notes or whatnot. But I don't know. I like writing about people. Let me see. I can't pull it up here though. I mean, I have a poetry book, but that's not my own writing. But yeah. I'm sorry. I really don't have anything.
You know what? I actually wanted to go over. There's a book that I've been reading. It's called Puppet. It's a 1985 book, and I really wanted to share something about the book. Like they say that the first few lines of a book have to really captivate you. Like it has to grasp your attention like right away. And if it doesn't, there's something wrong with it.
Are you sure? Because it's just like,
that's what I hear all the time from different videos that I've watched, and it's like the first sentence has to capture you.
I think it depends on what your perspective is, because some books you have to give it some time to read, to
develop,
to really get into it. But if you're one of those people who wants their attention caught right away, just like that, you know what I mean? Then that's different, I mean, I can definitely do that, but it depends on the audience you're writing for, essentially. So if you're writing for a bunch of Marines or whatnot, you start cursing, you start telling
they need that adrenaline rush.
You need that adrenaline rush. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But there was a Marine who said, you know what? If you want to change your life, make your bed every day. And that gets your attention. Like, what the flip? What the fuck? Like, make your bed.
That's the simple things in life that,
But at the same, I mean, some people understand it. Some people have probably already heard the story as to why it says make your bed every day. And then there was make your bed because your mother flippin' tells you to. Y si no te padre. Oh, I'm glad I got you laughing. That's always good.
Shouts out to a podcast that I listen to is Azteca Charro Azteca, the Charro Azteca podcast. Have you heard of that podcast?
I have not, but the name is really catchy.
Charro Azteca podcast. They have some interesting topics that they talk about. I think one of them is a real estate agent or something like that. I forgot. They resell homes or something. So they talk a lot about different topics and they get into it. One of their episodes was just that the importance of making your own bed every day. Of just that by itself, it starts something in the mind that it prepares you for the day.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
so that. Yeah. Sorry.
How do you start your day?
How do I start my day? I wing it now.
You're a educator, so you don't completely wing it. Right?
Yeah. I have I guess I have this habit of just the same old stuff. It's just, make my tea, brush my teeth, I stretch a bit, make sure my kids are right now is make sure my kids are online in the morning for class and stuff. But yeah, I guess we all have our little habits that we build up. Some of us have not so good habits of certain things. I know I can pick out a lot of bad habits that I have throughout the day, but yes. How was your day start?
I guess with my eyes open, con los ojos abiertos.
Yeah.
That was something that it was an ongoing family joke. My uncle, my favorite uncle who served in the Navy, he would jokingly say, "¿Cómo amaneciste?" And I said, "Good." He said, No, con los ojos abiertos. So that was one. He told a lot of kind of like vulgar jokes, unos chistes plebes, unos chistes picantes. But they were funny. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't remember the joke, but it had to do with glasses. Basically, this gentleman had some kind of issue with his glasses, and it turned out that his glasses weren't lentes there. I'm going to continue in Spanish, and then I'll translate in English. Que los lentes de este hombre no eran bifocales, eran lentes bisexuales. Así. I told you they were all jokes. I don't think there are any women writers on here right now, but I mean, it's all good. I don't know if that's on here. I think I saw her come on.
Now, where does your family come from?
My family comes from Colombia, and it's a whole mix. On my dad's side, there's some Afro-Caribbean, generation or two back. But I mean, part of Colombia has the Caribbean Sea. And then generations back, there's also Sicilian and Italian. We're talking like 4 or 5 generations back.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife has that Afrocentric in her. She's Puerto Rican. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got Robert too.
Robert, are you still down to do to read some passage from your book? Or passage from some writing you've done?
Are you still laughing, Robert?
You still laughing? Oh, man.
I was just trying to fill up some of the air, give him a chance to respond. Sometimes his phone runs out of battery, or I'm not sure what else. So we shall see. Hopefully he'll be able to join or whatnot. Does anybody have any questions? Any favorite writing methods? Anything they're working on? Carnalismo, what are you working on? Because I read that you're working on something. Can you say what topic it's about or whatnot?
What do you feel about editing while you write?
I'm always editing, and it's just part of my process. It's I'm such a stickler for my own grammar when I'm writing and such. So, I'm constantly like writing, rewriting, and all the other good stuff. When I'm in the process of like free writing, that's different, Bye, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I think it depends on what you're writing though, because it's just like if you're writing off the cuff or if you're writing for your friends, like they shouldn't care whether you have perfect grammar or spelling or whatever the hell it is. It's something that's written from the heart. So,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever
Yeah.
hip hop that you're writing, or if you're doing one of those, what is it, those speaks, those talks where you just kind of
Spoken.
freestyle talking.
Yeah, the freestyle. Yeah. Marco, so you write poetry? That's cool, man. Would you mind sharing something on the live here? I gotta look for my notepads that I would write a lot of poetry on. Um, I have some good ones, but I need to look for that. I would like to if Carnalismo, if Marco wants to share something, I'm gonna go get my notepad. If I like to share some stuff from my writing that I've been working on, because I really need some feedback. I don't know if you guys are willing to give me some feedback on that.
Absolutely. I bet you Marcos would be good at giving you feedback as well, and it might be a good change to are you up? I'm gonna just hype you up, Marcos. I think you should go live. We need to switch it up, have a different voice, a little more energy. I mean, I can put more energy into it. I was just kind of going with the flow or whatnot. Let's
Yeah.
go. All gas, no brakes. All love. Hey, let's go. Sleep is the
All
cousin
right,
of
let's see if
death.
Robert or Marco wants to join in and get
Mm-hmm.
something going. And let me go get my notepad. 'Cause I like to share something.
All right, I'll hold the fort down until you get back. What's up, everybody? Hello, Ready Made the Wise.
Our car is faster than the speed of light.
Yes, our car is faster than speed of light. Why not? We're gonna ride a rocket or something.
We're riding
Oh
a
no!
unicorn.
Okay, sweetheart. What? Okay, sweetheart. Keep it down, Mister.
We're riding a unicorn.
Okay, thank you. All right, unicorn rainbow. Thank you. No, not insofar as sharing, but insofar as just like talking with Victor about what you do, when you're right, or just like listening to him and giving him feedback, just to have well, I don't know. Let's vote on it, maybe. Do you guys want to keep on hearing from me, or do you want to see Marcos come up? Just write down names or something. Have Reddy break down his poetic verse. Okay.
But no,
What's up, 90s galore? Hello, double A, anti-anatomical. So y'all, definitely follow my Hint That Can Write podcast. Let your friends know about the podcast. I think he may or may not do every Thursday, but I will, definitely help promote for him as well. It's always good to, support young people with their podcasts and their dreams and all that other good stuff. He's a great writer, and he's a para-educator too. And also follow Profile Pod TV on Instagram and on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Please YouTube subscribe to Profile Pod TV, double A, Andy Anatomical. He's really cool people, really good person. I still haven't met anybody who has anything bad to say about him. No matter what, I've heard a few things, but it's okay. I don't care what they say about you, Andy. You're okay in my book. So yeah, Victor is back. Welcome back, host of my Hint That Can Write podcast. Thank you so much for having me on your live.
Thank you for holding out the fort. Thank you for that.
Yes, it was definitely an honor because it's your podcast, your idea, it's your baby,
Well, it's the Gentes podcast. It's the Gente to learn.
Beef.
Really...
Oh my God. You know what? I like beef. Who doesn't like beef, man? Like,
yeah, beef
and you know what? Ya basta, chistoso. Mira mal parido, chistoso. Sorry. I know that for you guys, it's a really bad word, but I'm basically insulting myself in the process.
Burger beef.
Burger beef. I know, right? I got no, I have no beef with anybody. I'd rather just sit down and enjoy a nice. Manuel, that's enough. Let me finish my thought, please. Silencio, por favor.
Some beef drama.
Okay.
They're dropping bombs on those like food.
Okay, sweetheart. Thank you.
Drama.
I'd rather just share the beef with somebody, you know, over lunch or dinner or, you know, virtual, whatever.
Drama.
Okay, thank you, Manny. Okay, goodbye, Manny. Thank you. I gave you screen time. Oh, no, I didn't. I'll give you screen time. All right. Are you going to share your writing, Victor? I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes, so is this story that I wanted to, I've been working on this one, but I just don't know. So it has to do with brujeria. So it's called brujeria. The story is called brujeria, and it's basically, have you all seen that one movie, The Craft?
Mm.
You ever seen The Craft?
Is it with like these well-known actresses, or is it a horror movie?
It's a horror movie, and there is well-known actresses in it. So it's like 4 girls that go into the black magic and all that. And at one point, one of the girls is levitating another girl in their room and stuff like that. I don't know if you remember that movie.
Did it come out like in the late 90s or something? Or
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not that much of a horror movie. I can't do horror. Most horror movies. That's all. Besides that,
so it's kind of like the idea comes from that, but then again, I implemented a lot of ideas from curanderas and stuff like that, and stories that I've heard, and friends have told me of certain curanderas that can cure people because of these what do they call it? These architects is what the curanderas say, that the architects talk to them to be able to cure people, and that's a true story. It's like a real curanderas in Mexico that actually speak to these architects, and there's more than one curanderas that have mentioned that. And a lot of people, I guess they call them brujas or whatnot, but I mean, most of them, bruja is not even a bad name. I mean, it's not a bad thing to be a bruja.
It's just become associated with being such a bad thing. Essentially.
Yeah, it's just basically people that dabble into the magic, and of course, there's 2 ways of magic: it's black and white magic. So here goes some of the passages that are the beginning of the story. So, usted es bruja. So there's this interview going on between with the curandera, that they're interviewing her from like those newscasts from, like, I don't know if you ever seen Al Rojo Vivo or Primer Impacto or something like that. The Spanish news.
Yes.
So something like that. They're interviewing her because she's the talk of the town. So, ¿usted es bruja? No, muchacho, yo curo a la gente. Eso de la brujería se escucha muy feo. ¿Cómo usted ayuda a la gente? Pues con hierba y oraciones y por medio de los arquitectos. ¿Arquitectos? Claro. ¿Quién son ellos? Son los que me guían para ayudar a la gente. ¿De qué forma usted sigue las instrucciones de los arquitectos? Doña Josefina points to her head. Con su mente. Interrupts the interview. Claro, estos arquitectos son personas que ya fallecieron. No, siempre han existido en forma de luz. El mundo ha oído a usted de parte de la forma en que usted cura. Y lo que usted cura son enfermedades muy graves. No entiendo por qué tanto relato en cómo los cura. Muchos curanderos pueden hacer lo mismo. Buenos curanderos que practican por ayudar, no solamente por el dinero. Entonces, ¿sí es cierto que usted puede curar a las personas que tienen cáncer y el SIDA? Claro, muchacho. And it goes on with, that was my grandmother that has since vanished. Poof, just like that. From one day to another. A few weeks after this interview aired nationwide, my abuelita Josefina went missing. I was about a year old. She went on to that bullshit interview on Rojo Vivo. That must have been around 2004. Obviously, I never got to meet her and converse with her, but call me weird, but I think I feel her presence at times. Or maybe it's just my imagination. Who knows? I watched that video clip over and over, trying to maybe decipher it or something. But it was clear that she had a gift to cure people of their illnesses. and someone had to take her out. Was it the government, big pharma? Who knows? But what really interests me was the architects that she was talking about. I wanted to know more. That's basically what it starts off with. So it's basically the granddaughter talking in retrospect to the video that she kept watching as the interview of the abuelita. So
That's
so that's some of the passage.
That's interesting. What does everybody else have to say? Well, I'll keep on putting, giving my opinion in the interim. I myself don't practice witchcraft. I respect anyone who does. The indicator went off. So I've gotten tarot readings done. I've gotten, that kind of stuff done. But I think that we can talk about a bigger, like a broader topic in relation to curanderia, like energy, essentially, because it's just like we all notice when, there's a really positive person who walks in and you automatically feel just a little bit better, maybe a little bit happy or whatever, whenever you're around them. You know what I mean? And it's part of their energy, part of their aura per se. I'm a spiritual person. I believe that everyone has their energy, and they can choose their energy as well. You know what I mean? You can choose to let other people's attitudes, energies affect you, or you can choose to kind of rise above that and keep your frequency, keep your positivity high. You know what I mean? So that's a possibility. Insofar as the grandmother curing people, I'm a bit skeptical of curing diseases, extreme diseases, as like cancer and AIDS, That's, I'm not gonna say it's not possible, but that is a bit of a stretch for me to believe. You know what I mean? I know that some people, whether it's the power of God, the power of curanderia, or whatever it may be, it's possible. It's something that in my head, it's still a little hard to believe. I'm a little skeptical of that. But insofar as like healing energy, I've received Reiki healing sessions. Reiki is when someone kind of tunes into your energy and helps adjust it based on how they perceive it. So that's something different. If you haven't heard of Reiki, I can go into that another time. I don't want to, I want to stick to the writing topic that we're.
It's like a meditation, right?
Reiki is a little different. It's more a certified practitioner, a certified healer per se. Place their hands over you. They don't typically have physical contact. They put their hands over you like this, and they can feel your energy, whether there's anger, sadness, resentment, hate, like past pain or whatever else it may be, if you believe in that. And I do.
Yeah. I do believe that we're essentially energy. That's what we really are. I mean, our soul is basically energy.
Right.
That's the energy that's bundled up within your body and stuff. But as for, how do you feel about a book or a story that has multi-language in it, or just two different languages that go hand in hand? Like, I've noticed certain stories that I've read that have Spanish, and the author tries to have that Spanish line or sentence, and right after try to clarify it with the English language. So that's, I don't know, like, I never really liked that, to clarify something with what's supposedly the primary language in the book. Like, I just wanted it to flow for someone that speaks both languages, like someone that's Spanglish or whatnot. They can enjoy better when it's just flowing without having to explain what that last sentence was. You know what I mean?
I guess that would, the author would have to take into consideration their audience and their readers. Just like how there are different languages for books, there can be different versions of a book so that more readers can easily understand it and enjoy it. You know what I mean? Thanks for
Mm-hmm.
joining us, Marcos. Have a good night.
Hey,
Sleep well. Sleep
Marco, gracias. Thank you for joining in, brother. Gracias. Have a good night.
well.
Yeah,
You joined. Keep on talking. I'll
but
just.
but as for the passage in general,
Mhm.
like what would you suggest that I like continue with the story? Like, do you think it's a good enough that it's a strong enough plot to have as the granddaughter is in search of who these architects are that her grandmother was talking about? Is that good enough plot to that can develop into something strong, you think?
I think it is, but the more important question is whether you think it is. That's a
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I guess there's a possibility to develop plot, in every. I mean, if there's stories out there that came from small, ideas that were big, that were able to blow up as big ideas, is it's a possibility for anything. It's just yeah.
Mhm.
But you're right. Like it's a question about, do you believe in your story?
Yeah, you have to believe in your own story in order to give it that authentic voice, give it that passion behind it, give it that authenticity.
Hmm. And I know research has a lot to do with that as well for something that, because I'm not really, I mean, I've heard a lot of stories and, from the pueblito that my family come from, in Jalisco, Mexico. There's a lot of history with curanderia and all that, what I mean? So there is a lot of talk with that. And I do know the basics of it, but, not enough to be able to clearly state certain things that only the people within that within the community of curanderismo,
Mhm.
they know, so I need to really, find out more information about that. Yeah, yeah.
Definitely. So
But
was your grandmother was a curandera in certain ways?
what was that?
Was your grandmother a curandera?
Oh, no, well, I think it's just the basics of what all like Mexican, traditional Mexican women did in Mexico, like it just like doing like cleaning with the egg and things of that sort, but nothing like too extreme, like killing a chicken
Mhm.
or for whatever, none of that stuff, like no sacrificial type
Food.
stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, is Robert still in the line? I can't see whether.
I
Oh,
see
just
that he's
Daniel.
joined, so I'm hoping he is. Robert,
Hey,
Bobby, what's
Daniel.
up? I'm calling you out, bro. You should jump on the live.
Hey, thanks for that comment, Daniel. I appreciate that.
One person had a comment. Flo DCM said dialogue in stories is my biggest struggle. So I'm just curious to know how dialogue is your biggest struggle and how, I don't know, how that could be helped in one way or another. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, because is it the transition or is it just including the dialogue? There's so many different ways that could be an issue. So, or, a challenge.
And does every story need dialogue, or can you just describe the situation without having to, or can you just describe that so and so is talking to so and so about something? Does it have to be dialogue all the time? Like that's a question for you guys to. I don't know if anyone wants to answer that.
Come on, guys. We want some audience participation here. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a question. What do you guys think? We want to know. Including the die. There we go. Thanks, Flo, for letting us know what's up with including. Um, in my
Yeah, including dialogue.
you don't need to include it all depends on how long or how short of a story that you're writing or what the piece that you're writing on. So you don't
Yeah.
necessarily need dialogue, because I mean, what if you can't speak? You know what I mean?
Mm.
What if you're writing, from the perspective of somebody thinking? I don't know. It's just something that occurred to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like
No
a
doubt. No.
person, who can only sign as opposed to having a dialogue.
Hmm. No doubt. No doubt. Well. Oh, hey, Abraham. The
Oh, you
Abraham
know
Joe.
what? My mistake though, because ASL, American Sign Language, it is a language, and you can have dialogue that way, but just not in the I guess traditional, regular non-hearing challenge sense.
Yeah. 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 That's research too. Like I mentioned, research is a really important factor that really helps out with the whole structure of the story. And that's I'm writing historical fiction. Ooh, that's a challenge right there. How's that going for you? Historical fiction. Wow. Yeah, that's not an easy task. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Alrighty.
I'm gonna
Alrighty, Tina.
thank you so much for
Thank you.
having me. Hi everyone. Thanks so much for listening and all that jazz. Congratulations, Victor, to your podcast, and I'll definitely
Oh,
be
thank you.
joining in.
Thank you very much. Have a good night, Tina, and thank you for all your help.
Oh, you too.
All right. Can you give us a little uh info on what type of historical fiction you're writing, Daniel? Playing some oldies here. But yeah, so every Thursday at 8, I'm gonna try to have this live going on in Chicano history. Dang, that's what's up. One of the stories that I'm writing also, like I said, I always have fucking ideas coming at me all the time, and I'm trying to always just write them down and just get the juices going for that story. But it's a story that I'm starting, and it's called Brown Pride, and it's based off of the 1960s. And in the 1960s, when the whole walkout was happening and all that. So this story is basically uh, what would happen if the Chicanos that were, of that time really, really rebelled and really got into basically going at it with the white people, with the white kids, um, and really had basically, try to get even with all the racist stuff that was going on back then, and all the things that they were being denied and all that. What if they really, really were, uh, you know, not as they went down? Like they were really like anti-violence and all that. But what if they actually got down and really, I mean, did some crazy stuff, to all the oppressors? What would happen? So it's a story about some high schoolers that basically started this not a gang, but basically started alerting everyone that this was gonna happen. Like, so I kind of wrote a what's it called, a synopsis on what the story's about, and so let me read some of it. Based in the 1960s, when Chicano high school students had a lot of challenges because of their race, a group of neighborhood friends decide to make a change. Peaceful outcries don't seem to make a change. They decide to make a change on their own, a change that requires force. They start a movement at school to spread the word to all schools for Chicanos and along with other people of color to bash on white students, and this leaks out to the streets. It becomes an all-out race war. Aslan is no longer kindly asking for what's rightfully theirs. They are taking it back. So what if that went down? What if that went